Your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take. Now, your family or business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. I like this one, National Pigs in a Blanket Day. No, I'm not talking about people my size being pigs. You know, and so here's the deal. Do you like pigs in a blanket? Now, you want to kick it up a notch? No, I'm not Emerald Lagasse. I like Emerald, but the whole idea here is if you're thinking about this, pigs in a blanket. So take those the dough and sprinkle it. Is it Trader Joe's? Is there a Trader Joe near you? Okay, so go to Trader Joe and sprinkle it with everything but the bagel seasoning. And you put that on the outside there. Oh, that's the way to go with pigs in a blanket. Friend Donna, she does it that way, and I can eat a bunch of those. Okay, let's see what else are we celebrating today? Well, I guess it's Thursday as we record this. If you're listening on a replay, okay, that sorry for you. National Pet Care for All Day. I don't think I need pet care. Maybe my dog does. Different issue there. Let's see what else. There's nothing exciting on here. Let's take a look and see if can we find something exciting in the markets. Well, the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 257 points. The S&P 500 is up 68.85. NASDAQ up 293.25. Oil is up 12 cents a barrel. And I'm going to tell you, if you don't like those numbers right now, wait 10 minutes, they'll change. Because we've had a massive amount of just changes in everything going on. It's crazy what our markets are looking like. Now, I watch the bond market very closely. And right now I'm looking at the 10-year Treasury being up 6 basis points, 4.328. And it was open. It was earlier, it was 4.312. What does that mean to you? Why would I even be bringing it up? Well, it's just because we're constantly watching these numbers. They're changing all the time. And right now they're more volatile than they normally are. So keep on watching them and see what's going on, or just tune in to Ron Siegel Radio. Now, does it matter what the numbers are? Not really. Because if you're not looking at buying or selling, it doesn't matter. Now, think about this, though, the stock market. If you are an investor, if you are contemplating retirement at any time in your life, well, you've probably got retirement savings. If you're doing it the smart way, it's not in a 401k, it's not in an IRA, it's not in a simple, it's not in a SEP, none of those things, because those are all geared to cost you more in taxes. Now, if you have your own business, You might chat, especially if it's a small business. So here I was with a group of people yesterday, and I was sharing because one of the folks was talking about the idea. They didn't understand life insurance. And I do understand life insurance because back around the turn of the century, I know some of you weren't here then, but back around the turn of the century, I was licensed with Merrill Lynch, Series 7, 66, insurance, the whole 9 yards. So I understand these things. Life insurance, universal life, what is it for? Well, there's two different paths. There's that path that says, you know something, I need life insurance in case something happens to me and I've got kids or I've got a spouse or just for my legacy. I want to leave something behind. There is that other organ group that says, you know something, I want life insurance because of the financial benefits. Take a look around most cities. Who owns the biggest buildings in the cities? Not who pays for the sign, but who owns the buildings? Well, for the most part, you've got the government, the Catholic Church, and insurance companies. They know where to invest. So when you go into life insurance, one of the big benefits of life insurance, especially if you're looking for it for the investment side, is there are a lot of tax benefits. If you own a small business, maybe it's only your family's in the business. Well, the business then can offer life insurance to every employee. Can't offer different things for different people. That was probably still is against the rules. But if the business offers life insurance to everybody and you're the only person there, or you and your spouse or you and your kids, whatever, and the business offers life insurance to everybody, that becomes a benefit, which talk to your tax professionals, it's tax deductible. So you're not having to pay your personal income taxes on it. Now you get this life, you grow that insurance over 5, 10, 20, 30 years. You're growing the cash value inside the insurance policy. And when you're ready to retire, don't take the money out, you borrow the money. Now, when you're borrowing on your home, is that income? No, it's a loan, it's a liability. That's why we're liability advisors. When you borrow against your life insurance policy, that's not income either. That's a liability. You owe it back. You have to pay it. Well, generally what you do is you have it set so the death benefit pays that back upon your demise. So you're consistently borrowing from the insurance, and that's how you're dealing with your retirement in a tax-advantaged way. Now, I always share this with you. I'm not giving you tax advice. Talk to your CPA or enrolled agent. But what I will say is have the right questions to ask them. Now, a lot of insurance guys are out there, and all they're saying is, tell me who all your friends and family are so we can go and sell them insurance. That's not our goal, is just not to go do just one path. We're looking at insurance from a whole different pathway, and we'll just watch these numbers. So if you're doing that, you're buying more insurance when the market's down. They've got some of the best financial analysts in the world that work for the insurance companies, and you can set up options as to how you want your money invested. Is it going into an index? Is it going into a variable index, a fixed index? All different options in there that you have to talk to the advisors about. And if you don't have one, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with somebody. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, what's your house worth now? And how smart homeowners protect their wealth in a recession. Are we heading to one? We'll see. You can reach me anytime off your number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990 at ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's...
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry. Calculated from actual lock rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions. Nationwide, they don't tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you need to put into your mortgage calculator to find out what your principal and interest payment will be. If you don't have a mortgage calculator, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. And you can get your mortgage calculator. It's right there. It's for free. Now, what did rates do yesterday? They were all down. Conventional 30-year fix, 6.816. Jumbo 30-year fix, 7.003. FHA 30-year fix, 6.525. VA 30-year fix, 6.4. The USDA rural areas, generally no down payment, 6.485. Every one of them was down. It was a clean sweep. If you're thinking about wanting to know where the markets are going right now, what our thoughts are, each and every business day morning, as early as the data allows, we do put out our report, rsrlinks.com/market minute, rsrlinks.com/market minute. We sent out the report earlier today, so if you haven't got that, you can just send us a note, rj@ronsiegelradio.com, rj@ronsiegelradio.com, and we can get that to you. Let's see what the markets are doing right now. We've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 333. The S&P is up 77.69. And the NASDAQ is up 328 points. Oil down 2 cents a barrel. And then now let's take a look over at what the treasuries are doing. We've got the 10-year treasury. That one's down 6 basis points right now. And we've got the mortgage-backed security. That one's going up. Now, remember, when we talk about the bond going up, that means interest rates are down. That bond is up 32 basis points right now. Very, very nicely in the right direction. So we're always happy to see that. And let's see, why are you listening to us? It's not for all that stuff that's on the super secret website, google.com. Actually, now you can probably find all that easier on ChatGPT. But it's not going to go over the why. Why are these things happening? Well, stocks, mortgage bonds, both higher so far this morning. Latest economic data has both been showing more signs of anemic growth and a potential recession if we're not already in one. Remember, the silver lining of a recession or recession-like conditions is that the economy slows, inflation falls, and mortgage rates always decline. Can't forecast can't guarantee the future, but we can tell you historically, always decline. Existing home sales measures closings on existing homes was weaker than expected and showed a decline in activity. Things like realtor commissions are directly plugged into GDP and is another item that would point to flat or negative growth. Existing home sales fell 5.9% in March to 4.02 million unit annualized pace, which was worse than the negative 3% expected. Previous report for February was revised slightly higher from 4.2 to 4.4, but today's report was a miss. This report likely measures people shopping for homes in January and February, when rates were higher. Sales in the West fell the most due to the fires, which likely postponed closings. The homes there are relatively higher in price, which impacted the median home price a bit. According to Diana Olick, and you know that Diana Olick is never correct when it comes to housing.
Such an idiot. Such an idiot.
You would have thought prices declined, and as she said, the drop in pace of sales and an increase in inventory is causing a chill to home prices. Yet the median home prices rose 1.7% in March to $403,700, and also happened to be the highest March on record. Year over year, median prices rose 2.7%. It's also important to note that this measures the middle price homes sold, not appreciation. Another component that Olick made a big deal about was inventory, which rose 8.1% last month to 1.33 million units. It's also up 20% from last year, which sounds like a lot. For perspective, we had a chart that I'm going to share later on social media, and the inventory levels are still near the lowest point in the last 26 years, well below the pre-pandemic years of 2015 to 2020. It's almost 3 million less than the overall supply during the housing bubble. Putting together the pace of sales inventory, there's a 4-month supply of homes, which was higher than 3.5% in February, but less than a more balanced market at 4.6 months. Houses remained on the market for 36 days on average, down from 42 days in February. 21% of homes sold above the list price, which was down from 29% last year. First-time home buyers made up 32% of transactions, up from 31% in February, unchanged from March. Cash buyers accounted for 26%, while investors made up 15%, both in line with levels seen last year. Durable goods orders, which measures larger durable purchases in the U.S., rose a whopping 9.2% in March, which was much stronger than the 2% rise expected. This figure was anticipated to come in hot because orders front-running the tariffs. The headline jump of 9.2% was all due to a 139% rise in non-defense aircraft orders. But when you strip out transportation, the reading was 0%, which was weaker than the 0.3% expected, and is another sign of anemic growth. Core durable goods was reported at 0.1%, lower than the 0.2% expected. Core shipments, which gets directly plugged into GDP, came in at a negative 0.9% and should cause further downward revisions. Cleveland Fed President Beth Hammack spoke on CNBC this morning and made some interesting comments. She said that uncertainty over the tariffs is weighing on businesses and their planning. She said that the Fed does not yet know what trade policy will do to the economy and thinks it's a good moment to take time and ensure we are moving in the right direction. On rate cuts, she said that she enters every meeting with an open mind, which likely means she's open to cutting rates anytime if it makes sense. Hammack explained that the Fed can be preemptive in cutting rates ahead of a recession once the economy's direction is more clear. She also emphasized that the Fed can move quickly if it needs to. She said there may be scenarios where the Fed would need to add temporary liquidity. Nothing would prevent them from using their tools of buying treasuries. Fed's Beige Book was also released and captured the impact of tariffs based on the timing of conversations. Of the 12 Fed districts, 5 saw little growth, 3 experienced flat growth, and 4 reported modest decline in growth. This sounds like a flatline GDP figure to us, which is in line with what the Atlanta Fed is predicting. Initial jobless claims measures individuals filing for unemployment benefits for the very first time rose 6,000 to 222,000. Continuing claims are those who continue to receive benefits after their initial claim fell 37,000 to 1.84 million. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial when you're ready for that next home loan. Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So let's carry on with that theme that we did in the Mortgage Minute. The theme being, something, watch out for where the economy is going. We're watching it like a hawk, and we're watching all the numbers that come out, constantly seeing that not just from the sources that you're seeing on TV, but from other sources that we subscribe to. And I'm a big believer that right now you just cannot use one source of data because they're all skewed, right? You go to Fox News, they're skewed to the right. You go to MSNBC and CNN and ABC, NBC, CBS, every other one, they're skewed to the left. They're telling people what those folks want to hear. It does you absolutely no good to consistently be getting information that's just geared to what you want to hear. Think about that. So you've got to pay for your own data if you're making business decisions out of it. And one of my favorites is Danielle DiMartino Booth. She comes out with some really, really good stuff. And I read her stuff. I get her newsletter every day. It comes out just after 4 a.m. Yes, I have no life, so I am reading her goods then, her data. And basically, she's saying all over the world, Europe, current output below trend since June of 2024. Fed future output dropped sharply. Germany and France show recession risks of 50 and 60%, but Italy and Spain, 35% and 10%. United Kingdom output down. Historical patterns at these levels correlate with a 62% probability, while market consensus remains at 40. Japan, current output holding slightly above trend. Future output has declined to a negative 0.6. Japan's recession probabilities around 28%. South Korea reported negative GDP in the first quarter. So what does that mean for the U.S.? Our output is at a negative 0.7. Future is a negative 1.1. Historical data suggests a 45% risk of recession versus the current consensus of 30%. So we've got to get ready for these things. And you're not getting that information anywhere other than Ron Siegel Radio. And when we come back, because you are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, when we come back, we're going to talk about these issues. We're going to talk about how to recession proof or how to manage for recession, managing your home equity. We're going to talk about what your house is worth now and should you buy now or wait. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment. Today brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. What's your house worth? The answer may surprise you. Let's talk about something you might not check nearly as often as your bank account. That's how much your home is worth. But when it comes to your financial situation, it's an important thing to remember. When's the last time you had a professional show you the value of your house? And I'm going to tell you that you can do it very simply. It actually takes about a minute or two. Go to rsrlinks.com/homewealth, rsrlinks.com/homewealth. No spaces in there. And we'll send you a report once a month with your home worth, just like you get a bank statement. Think about it. For most people, your house is probably the biggest asset you have. And if you've owned your home for a few years or longer, chances are it's been quietly building wealth for you in the background. And honestly, you might be surprised by just how much. What is home equity? This wealth you may not even realize you have comes in the form of home equity. Home equity is the difference between what your house is worth and what you still owe on your mortgage. It grows over time as home values rise and as you pay down your mortgage each month. Here's an example to help you really understand how this works. Let's say your house is now worth $500,000 and you have $200,000 left to pay off on your loan. That means you have $300,000 in equity, and most homeowners are sitting on some pretty significant equity right now. According to Cotality, formerly known as CoreLogic, the average homeowner with a mortgage has about $311,000 in equity. Why you probably have more than you think? Here are the two main reasons homeowners like you have record amounts of equity right now. Number one, significant home price growth, according to the Federal Housing Finance Agency. Home prices have jumped by more than 57% nationwide over the last 5 years. If you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, any of our socials or the ABC News and Talk, AM 1490 or FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing a chart of home equity, and it shows it by state. National average up 57.1%. California, I think that says right around 45. The numbers are kind of small for me, about 45% here in California. If you purchased your home in the last few years, if you purchased your home a few years ago or more, this means your house is likely worth much more now than when you first bought it, thanks to how much prices have climbed lately. Number two, people are living in their homes longer. Data from the National Association of Realtors, NAR, shows the average homeowner stays in their home for about 10 years now. And again, we've got a graph there, people staying in their homes. This says right around 10 years, 9.25 years was the average during the 2009 to 2024. 1985 to 2008 was 6 years. That's longer than it used to be, and over over that decade, you've built equity just by making your mortgage payments and riding the wave of rising home values. So if you're one of those people who's been in their home for that long, here's how much the behind-the-scenes price growth has helped, according to NAR. Quote, over the past decade, the typical homeowner has accumulated $201,600 in wealth solely from price appreciation, unquote. What could you actually do with that equity? Remember, your house might be your biggest financial asset. And if you're smart about how you leverage your equity, it could open up some exciting opportunities for your future. Use it to help buy your next home. Your equity could help you cover the down payment on your next home. In some cases, it might even mean you can buy your next house all cash. And you know that I'm not a fan of doing that. Renovate your current house to better suit your lifestyle now. If you're strategic about your projects, they could add even more value to your home if you do so later on. Start the business you've always dreamed of. Your equity could be exactly what you need for startup costs, equipment, or marketing. And that could help increase your earning potential, so you're getting yet another financial boost. Bottom line, chances are your house is worth a lot more than you realize. Whether you're thinking about selling, upgrading, or simply want to understand your options, your equity isn't just a number, it's a tool. If you sold your house and you had significant equity to work with, what would you do with it? Let's figure out how to turn your home's value into your next big move. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. So in the last segment, I was chatting a little bit with you about the potential of an upcoming recession. So with that in mind, the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by gethomeselect.com, gethomeselect.com. How to use your mortgage to boost retirement savings, pre-retirement. Whoops, I didn't want that one. That's the one I want. The Borrow Smart segment brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com, GetHomeSelect.com. How smart homeowners protect their wealth in a recession. 7 cash flow moves you need now. Again, Ron Siegel, we are here to help you if you're a homeowner, a first-time home buyer, someone simply looking to make smart financial decisions. You're in the right place. Today, we're talking about something that's on a lot of people's minds right now, how to protect your finances and your peace of mind. When the economy feels like it's on shaky ground, recession talk is everywhere. Market volatility, inflation, uncertainty. But here's the thing, recessions don't have to derail your financial future. In fact, if you undertake debt management, these economic cycles can actually become opportunities. I am a Certified Liability Advisor, a CLA, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. My focus is on helping you borrow smart, repay smart, and build lasting financial security. Today, we're going to cover 7 cash flow moves you can make right now to recession-proof your savings and protect your wealth. Let's dive in. Number 1, know your numbers. Review your cash flow plan. When uncertainty hits, the first place I always recommend starting is your cash flow. Not your budget, your cash flow. Thinking of your cash flow as the engine that drives your wealth. It's not just about how much you make. It's about how much you keep and how efficiently you put those dollars to work. Take a close look at your monthly spending. Go to rsrlinks.com/Sora. rsrlinks.com/Sora. Take a close look at your monthly spending. Are these areas where you're leaking money? Unused subscriptions, inflated insurance premiums, spending habits that don't align with your goals. Trim the fat, but don't forget to fund the things that build your future, like smart repayment plans and home equity strategies. Number 2, build a smart emergency reserve. Emergencies don't care whether the stock market is up or down. The car still breaks down. The water heater still leaks. Life happens. But here's the key. How you pay for those emergencies makes all the difference. If your first instinct is to swipe a high-interest credit card when life throws you a curveball, that's not wealth building, that's wealth eroding. Start by setting aside even a small reserve, $500 to $1,000, in a separate high-yield savings account. Add to consistently. The goal, cover 3 to 6 months of basic expenses. Remember, it's not just about saving money, it's about protecting your cash flow from getting hijacked by unexpected debt. Number 3, make your savings work harder. If your savings are parked in a basic checking account, earning next to nothing, well, your money isn't working for you. Even in a down economy, there are ways to earn more on your savings. Consider moving a portion of your reserve to high-yield savings account or locking in a portion of your funds with certificates of deposit. While rates are still competitive, the principle is simple. Maximize your return on idle cash without sacrificing safety or liquidity. It's about smart positioning, not risky chasing. Number 4, pay down high-interest debt, but do it strategically. One of the most powerful wealth-building moves you can make in any economy is paying down high-interest consumer debt. But here's where strategy matters. Not all debt is bad. Some debt, like a well-structured mortgage, can actually enhance your cash flow and leverage inflation to your advantage. Focus first on eliminating the liabilities that drain your resources. Credit cards, personal loans, high-rate car loans. But before you throw every spare dollar of your debt at your debt, let's talk about suitability. Does paying down debt make sense given your tax bracket, mortgage structure, and investment opportunities? This is where working with a certified liability advisor can help you avoid making emotional decisions that could limit your long-term growth. Number 5, diversify your income streams. During a recession, companies tighten their belts, raises become rare, layoffs become common. One of the smartest ways to recession-proof your finances is to diversify your income. Maybe that means adding a side hustle. Maybe it's putting your expertise to work as a consultant. Or maybe it's investing in a rental property that generates cash flow while building equity. Remember, in the borrow smart, repay smart mindset, your wealth isn't just about what you own. It's about how you use what you own to create reliable cash flow. Number 6, protecting your borrowing power. Recessions often mean tighter lending standards, But real estate opportunities don't just stop because credit gets harder to access. Now is the time to protect your borrowing power. Check your credit reports. Stay current on your mortgage and other obligations. Maintain healthy debt-to-income ratios. This isn't just about qualifying for credit. It's about positioning yourself to borrow strategically when the time is right. Whether that's for refinancing, investment opportunities, or seizing favorable rates when they come back down. Number 7, stay the course. Focus on long-term wealth creation. Finally, here's the most important move you can make during uncertain times. Don't panic. Stay the course. Recessions are part of the natural economic cycle. They come and go, but your financial plan should be built to weather the storm, not react to every headline. Continuing making your mortgage payments on time. Keep contributing to your retirement plans. Focus on the fundamentals, cash flow, liability management, and disciplined decision-making. Remember, wealth isn't built overnight, but with the right strategies, it can be protected through any market. If this conversation resonates with you, if you're wondering whether your current debt strategy, mortgage plan, or savings approach is truly working for you, I invite you to reach out. I am a certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Let's talk about how you can borrow smart, repay smart, and recession-proof your future. This is Ron Siegel, and I look forward to connecting with you on another brief segment here on Ron Siegel Radio. That is the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by GetHomeselect.com. GetHomeselect.com. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, what's your, we already did that one. Should I buy a home now and wait? And how to use your mortgage to boost retirement savings. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by GetHomeselect.com. GetHomeselect.com. How to use your mortgage to boost retirement savings, pre-retirement planning with Home Select. Yeah, it's Ron Siegel here, your home and finance connection. Today, let's talk about a topic that's often overlooked, but critically important. Pre-retirement planning. Now, if you're 5 to 10 years away from retirement, you're probably thinking about your 401k, maybe your IRA, and how much you'll need to live comfortably. But here's the question I always ask. Are you also thinking about your mortgage strategy? Because here's the truth. Your home is likely your biggest asset, but your mortgage could also be your biggest liability. And too often I see families carrying large mortgage payments right into retirement, locking up cash they could be using for travel, healthcare, grandkids, or even just peace of mind. That's where the Home Select loan comes in. Again, GetHomeselect.com. This is not your standard mortgage. The Home Select is a first lien HELOC designed specifically for financially savvy homeowners who want flexibility and control as they approach retirement. Here's how it works. Your income, whether it's your paycheck, pension, or Social Security, can be deposited directly into your Home Select account. Every deposit automatically reduces your loan balance daily saving you interest immediately. It's the sweep account. Your cash remains accessible whenever you need it for emergencies, opportunities, or just to enjoy life. Again, that's your sweep account. This loan doesn't lock you into rigid payments. Instead, it adjusts with your lifestyle. Pay down aggressively when you can or hold on to cash when you need flexibility. It's about keeping your money working for you, not the bank. But fair warning, this isn't a fit for everyone. It's designed for strategic borrowers who are cash flow positive and serious about their retirement plan. If that sounds like you, or if you want to learn more, visit gethomeselect.com. Gethomeselect.com. I put together some great resources there to help you see how this tool might fit into your retirement strategy. I am a certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Don't let your mortgage be the roadblock to your dream retirement. That's all for today. This is Ron Siegel, and I'll be back with more ways to help you live your best life. That is the Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by gethomeselect.com. Gethomeselect.com. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com. Should I buy a home now or wait? At some point, you've probably heard the saying, yesterday was the best time to buy a home, but the next best time is today. That's because home ownership is about the long game, and home prices typically rise over time. So while you may be holding out for prices to fall or rates to improve, you should know that trying to time the market rarely works. Here's what most buyers don't always think about. The longer you wait, the more buying could cost you, and you deserve to understand why. Forecasts say prices will continue climbing. Each quarter, over 100 housing market experts weigh in for the Home Price Expectation Survey from Fannie Mae. And they consistently agree on one thing. Nationally, home prices are expected to rise through at least 2029. Yes, the sharp price increases are behind us, but experts project a steady, healthy, substantial increase of 3 to 4% per year going forward. And while this will vary by local market from year to year, the good news is this is much more normal pace, a welcome sign for the housing market and hopeful buyers. If you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk, AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing charts from 2025, 6, 7, 8, and 9 as to the forecasting from the Home Price Expectation Survey. Even in markets experiencing more modest price growth or slight short-term declines, the long game of home ownership wins over time. So here's what to keep in mind. Next year's home prices will be higher than this year's. The longer you wait, the more the prices will go up. Waiting for the perfect mortgage rate or a price drop may backfire. Even if rates dip slightly, projected home price growth could still make waiting more expensive overall. Buying now means building equity sooner. When you play the long game of home ownership, your equity rewards owe you over time. What you'll miss out on? Let's put real numbers into this equation because it adds up quickly. Based on those expert projections, if you bought a typical $400,000 home in 2025, it could gain nearly $80,000 in value by 2023. Again, look at the graph, $79,304 potential growth in household wealth over the next 5 years based solely on increased home equity if you purchased a $400,000 home in January of 2025. If you want a report card for your neighborhood, just give me a call at 800-306-1990, or better yet, send a message, rj@ronsiegelradio.com. We'll tell you what's going on in your neighborhood with forecasts. If you want to know what your home value is worth right now, rsrlinks.com/homewealth. rsrlinks.com/homewealth. That's a serious boost to your future wealth and why your friends and family who already bought a home are so glad they did. Time in the market matters. So the question isn't, should I wait? It's really, can I afford to buy now? Because if you can stretch a little or you're willing to buy something a bit smaller just to get your foot in the door, this is why it'll be worth it. Yes, today's housing market has challenges, but there are always ways to make it work, like exploring different neighborhoods, asking your lender about alternative financing, or tapping into down payment assistance programs. The key is making a move when it makes sense for you rather than waiting for a perfect scenario that may never arrive. Bottom line, time in the market beats timing the market. If you're debating whether to buy now or wait, remember this: real estate rewards those who get in the market, not those who try to time it perfectly. Want to take a look at what's happening with prices in your local area, whether you're ready to buy now or just exploring your options? Having a plan in place can set you up for long-term success. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. And let's give away a few things. Let's give you a couple of stories because we have a couple of minutes here left. Not a lot of time, but hey, if you are considering buying, or if you're considering your options, as we've talked about, the two-step is a big benefit for almost everybody we come across. What's the two-step? rsrlinks.com/two-step. If you've looked at me, you know I don't dance. rsrlinks.com/two-step. What you're doing there is you're looking at your finances right now, and you're saying, okay, does it make sense for me to restructure my home loan? And what happens over time there is you restructure now, get all those old liabilities cleaned up, and you go and then you restructure again 6 to 12 months down the line when we forecast rates will be better. You're going to save in many ways. You're going to have a better FICO score because of paying off those debts if you don't just go and build them up again. You're going to not going to have the cash out hit on the loan level price adjustments. And you should be better off, better structured in your debt to income ratio. rsrlinks.com/two-step. You want to see if you qualify right now to get started there? Well, you do the 30-second loan application. rsrlinks.com/Sora. rsrlinks.com/Sora. 30 seconds. We can review it with you. It'll do a soft credit pull. Doesn't affect your credit scores. And we'll take a look at that for you. rsrlinks.com/Sora. Get prepared. And don't forget that 3% mortgage. It could be killing you. Yeah, I've done some shows on that as well. rsrlinks.com/3PCT. rsrlinks.com/3PCT. So take a look at that one as well. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.